Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. One, two, three, four.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lady Beaverbrook Gymnasium here in beautiful Fredericton, New Brunswick. I'm Bill Gibson. You're watching STU Tommy's basketball on ACAA.tv and streaming through YouTube. This is the season opener for both of these teams in the regular season. St. Thomas Tommies women and the Mount Allison Mounties. This game kicking the season off is the rematch of the final women's game of the Ken Gould tournament just here last weekend on this very court. Tommies victorious in that one, 73-65. Taking a closer look at the score sheet, Tommies had a bigger lead at half, 42-27, but it was Mount Allison winning both quarters in the second half and the half overall by 7 points total in the half. In detail on that score sheet, things that really jump out: Tommies 21 of 28 from the foul line versus only 8 of 12 for Mount Allison. As you can imagine, personal fouls, 22 for Mount A, 13 for St. Thomas. Otherwise, the stats are fairly comparable. Mount Allison actually getting off 8 more shot attempts than the Tommies in that one. Leading scorers for Mount Allison: Sophie Trail with 18, Abby Miller with 15, Reese Nowlin 10 rebounds, and Maddie Greaterx 6 assists. For the Tommies, 4 players in double figures: Vanessa Sophie with 11, Emily Owens 10, Alyssa Jeffrey 12, and Celine Sturkle with 15 to lead the Mounties. Also into that one, the Tommies were down to 7 players with some injury issues, and they have some more bodies back tonight, although there are some restrictions. We'll get into that as we go along here. And for the Mounties, also a key injury. Starting forward, Abby Miller out of this one with an injury. Miller had 15 points, 5 rebounds in that last game. Is out for this one, replaced in the starting lineup by rookie Jillian Mumford. Full starters for Mount Allison: number 7, Maddie Greaterx, a 5'7" guard out of Truro. Number 9 is Sophie Trail, 5'6" guard right here out of Fredericton High School. Number 13 is going to be Reese Nowlin, 5'7" forward in her first year out of James M. Hill in Miramichi. Number 21 is Tori Janes, 5'5" guard in her second year of eligibility from St. Mary's and FHS. And the rookie Jillian Mumford, 6 foot forward out of Calgary. And the starters for the Tommies, who are racked with injury: number 5 is going to be Kate Ross, a 5'6" guard from Hamilton, Ontario. Kate Ross, who we're introducing now. Number 6 will be Vanessa Sophie, 5'4" guard in her third year from Fredericton High School. Number 7, Madison Owens, a 5'9" forward in her 5th year from Fredericton. And number 11 is Mary Besselink, a 5'10" wing in her 3rd year from Kingston. And in her first year of eligibility, number 14, a 6'2" center from Moncton, Celine Sturkle. That rounds out the starters. Officials for this one: we Misters Forsyth, Whipple, and Tweedy. Coach Connors, the longtime coach of the Tommies. We will now have the national anthem. With that, we're set for tap. It will be Mumford for Mount Allison against Sturkle for the Tommies. Lynn Sturkle draws in to the starting lineup for the injured Emily Owens. Owens went down late in that Sunday game against these Mounties with a high ankle sprain. Told by Coach Connors prior to the game she is weeks away from returning. Good news for a high ankle sprain. Tip controlled by the Tommies. That's Sophie for Besselink. Besselink guarded by Greatorix. Madison Owens dribbles in against Reese Nowlin. 6 on the shot clock. Besselink in the post for Sturkle with 2 to shoot. She spins, puts it up short. Taken away by Nowlin. Finds Janes in the backcourt. Nowlin on the drive. She's got a lane and she's blocked by Sturkle but fouled. Reese Nowlin will go to the line to shoot 2. Nowlin good on the first. And the second. Pressure now from the Mounties on the Tommies. Broken fairly easily by St. Thomas. Travel violation on Besselink. Turn the ball over to Mount Allison. Just underway here in Fredericton on the lid lifter of the ACAA campaign for both of these schools and the entire league. Mount Allison up 2-0 on the Tommies. Played just about a minute. Janes on the drive. Outside, Nowlin. 3, that is good. Besselink looks to answer. She does. Sophie Trail guarded by Vanessa Sophie. Mumford for Janes. Janes uses the Mumford screen up top for Nowlin. She fakes, now she's going to drive. Kicks to the corner for Trail. Trail puts up the 3, too strong. Rebound to Sturkle. Sophie drives, kicks corner. Maddie Owens. Owens puts up the 3. Front rim and rebound to Sophie Trail. Into the front court. Mumford and Janes play a little catch. Mumford puts up the 3. That's short. Out of bounds to the Tommies. 5-3 in the early going. Mount Allison in front. Mount Allison and the Ken Gould here last weekend took off reigning conference champion in the Friday game. Mount St. Vincent lost to eventual tournament champion St. Foy on the Saturday game, and then were defeated by St. Thomas in that 8-point game on the Sunday. Tommies to inbound with Besselink for Sophie. Sophie with a paint catch. Madison Owens from 18 feet. That's good for 2. Greatorix. Now near side for Trail. Nowlin. Mumford had post position. Nowlin doesn't find her, but gets the spinner off the glass to go around the world and in. It's going to be out off Vanessa Sophie. Good defense by Sophie Trail. And it's Mounties' ball. Trail fakes a 3, now drives on Ross. Tied up nicely by Emily Owens and taken away by Vanessa Sophie on the steal. Sophie, the reigning defensive player of the year here in the league. Sturkle looked for the nice inside pass to Owens, but that's broken up by Mount Allison, and Mumford Oh, can't finish with the left hand on the far end. We've got a tie-up jump ball that will stay Mount Allison as the Tommies won the tap. Kylie Roy up off the bench quickly for Coach Connors to check in, as is Alyssa Jeffrey. Sturkle and Kate Ross head to the bench. Tommies get a little smaller in that exchange. Change the matchups on the floor just a little bit. Mumford with a nice post catch. Kicks back out for Trail for three. This is right. Besselink. That's Jeffrey. Besselink looks baseline, now drives paint. Kicks outside for Roy. 5 to shoot. Besselink, Sophie, she's going to drive. She's going to have to put one up off the side of the backboard, no good. That's going to be a shot clock violation. Tommy's turn it over. First sub of the game for Mount Allison is Hannah Hawks, number 6. 5'7" guard out of Bethel and Woodstock High School. Strong high school program there in Woodstock. Perennial contenders at the AAA level here in New Brunswick. Offensive foul that's going to go on Nowlin. It's going to be her first. Stuck out the knee, setting the screen. Tommy's ball, pressure now from the Mounties. Sophie. Jeffrey and Sophie on the outside. Roy open for three. She shoots it. A little too strong. Rebound to Janes. Nice drive by by Hawks to score for two. Besselink baseline, puts up the baseline jumper. That's short. Good strong rebound inside by Kylie Roy. That foul will go on Maddie Greatorex. That gets Caitlin Simard off the bench for Coach Chase. He'll check in number 10, as well as number 11 is Megan Philbrick. Philbrick, second-year center from Toronto and the Etobicoke Thunder. Owens out of bounds on the end line. Mounties up 4. We played about 5 minutes of quarter number 1. Janes on the dribble. Outside, Simard. Janes for Trail. Has the Philbrick screen. Trapped there by the Tommies. Tommies have dropped into a zone here. Double dribble violation on Simard. And subs back in, Kate Ross for Vanessa Sophie. Inexperience in the backcourt now here for the Tommies. Nearly a turnover forced by Janes. Instead, she's going to pick up the foul. Just about to say, let's see if the Mounties turn up the heat on this young backcourt. That indeed seems to be what they're doing here. That one out of bounds and back to St. Thomas. Roy picks up Simard with that foul, her first, team's fourth. Jeffrey, guarded by Janes. Jeffrey out of Sussex in the Sonic program. Madison Owens makes 3. Said it on the weekend, if Maddie Owens can add that shot to her game, that will be a weapon for the Tommies. And there is Owens on the steal. Tommies trailing by 1 to the front court. Maddie Owens on the drive. Outside for Jeffrey. Owens in the post. Post on the other side is Besselink. Now Besselink on the baseline with a long jump shot. Too strong. Rebound, Philbrick on the rip. For Simard, under the basket. That's going to be, no, but that was going to be 2. Defended and rebound by Jeffrey. Roy for Ross. Basilake in the post for Maddie Owen. She puts it up. Blocked by Janes. Out of the corner, Simard. Maybe drug a foot there, but got rid of the ball in time to avoid the travel. Janes, Simard. In the corner, that's Trail. A little too strong, but rebound by Hawks. Back outside for Janes. She'll put up the 3. Misses left. And rebound ball on the floor. Picked up by Philbrick. Off glass, no good. Philbrick corrals the board again. Doesn't get the 2, but gets rim at least on the shot clock. Kate Ross drives baseline. Look to go for the up and under move, but that was snuffed out by the Mounties. Pass a little too strong for Trail. Now head man to Ross. Pardon me, pass ahead to Ross. Ross misses the righty lay-in. Out of the backcourt, it's Jeffrey. Ross on the drive. Doesn't get it to go, but picks up a foul. That will be the 5th team foul on the Mounties, shooting regardless. Foul goes on Trail. Subs aplenty. 4 in for the Tommies. 12 is Alina Ross. 13 is Emma Connors. 14 is Sturkle. And 6 is Sophie. On the Mountie side, Mumford checks back in. She's joined on the court by Janes, Greatorix, Hawks. And on the far side, number 14 is Katie Feesby, who has just checked into the game. Vanessa Sophie on the drives gives the Tommies their first lead of the ball game at 10-9. 2:08 to play here in quarter number 1. Subs in. Nowlin for Hawks. Greatorix inbounds to Janes. Guarded by Emma Connors. Janes goes by Connors. Loses it off the knee on the pickup for the shot. And it will be St. Thomas ball. Emma Connors, back off the injury from last weekend, is on a minutes restriction in this one. There is Olina Ross, number 12, also off an injury last weekend. Small little update for you here, folks. I'll stick with you here through the end of this quarter. But just getting word that our PA guy is ill. So I'm being moved down to the PA position. So I'll stay with you through the end of this quarter. And then you will be voiceless here on the webcast. So it is 10-9 Tommies here, 1:13 to go in the first quarter. Subs in, that's Kylie Roy checking in. Trail rims out. We're down to 34 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. Inside the post, Mumford off glass, no good. Draws the foul. So once again, folks at home, I'll be leaving the webcast here very momentarily to move down to the table to take over PA for the LPA announcer. Just passing along here to the webcast producer. She'll be alone up here following the game action, and we'll be voiceless. You'll get the certainly the okay. I'm getting redirected. I'm staying put. So we have a voice continuing here on the webcast. That was the direction I was hoping to get there, folks. Sorry for the confusion at home. There is a little bit of confusion here as one of our game workers is turning up ill. So Roy scores 12-11. Tommy, 3 seconds to go in the quarter. Nowlin on the drive. She scores 2. And we go to quarter time with the Mounties leading the Tommies 13-12. Taking a break here, folks at home. If you're listening, just to get reorganized. I was getting ready to pack up and go downstairs, so get all my papers back out. And we're set to go when quarter 2 action picks up here in about a minute. Good bunch of action in quarter 1. And unlike last weekend's game, it's Mount A comes out of quarter 1 with the lead. Was the Tommies in control throughout the first half of that last Sunday game. And in this one, it is the Mounties by 1. "15 seconds to go here before the start of quarter number 2. I'm Bill Gibson. You're watching Tommy's Television through ACAA.TV, streaming on YouTube. This is the opening game of the ACAA season for both of these teams. And folks, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it yet in this broadcast. I don't believe I have. St. Thomas hosting the ACAAs right here on this floor in early March. So this is where the season starts, and it will be where the season ends. Both of these teams would like to be in the mix to be in that final game on the Sunday of ACAA weekend. Back out to start the second quarter. Trail, Nowlin, Greatorix, Mumford, and number 4 is Lauren Furlong. for the Mounties. For the Tommies, 11 is Besselink, 14 Sturkle. Roy is 4, along with Sophie and Maddie Owens, number 7. Turnover by Sturkle in the post. Mumford for Greatorex. Greatorex on the drive. Outside Trail. Furlong. Oh, pardon me, that was Trail on the shot. Roy, contact in the eye area by Trail. That's going to be Trail's second. Team's first here in this quarter. Roy will come out. Jeffrey in. Second game in a row against these Mounties that Roy has taken abuse to the facial area. Turned over by St. Thomas. Reese Nolan on the steal. Greatorex for Nolan. 6 on the shot clock. Foul on the Tommies. It's going to go on Besselink on the hold. I guess I was watching the ball on that one and not the entire action. I did not see that. Inbound for the Mounties, James. Furlong puts up the long shot. No good. Rebound knocked out by Mumford in the mix of two Tommies. And it will stay, pardon me, go back to Tommies basketball. Sturkle. Jeffrey. Besselink. Sophie. Sturkle fighting for post position. Good work by Mumford to keep her out. Maddie Owens, that looked good, but it rimmed out on the three-point shot. Mounties working around the outside. Now inside for Mumford. Good strong catch by Mumford. And she'll draw the foul. I believe that's going to go on Vanessa Sophie. Does go on Sophie. That's her first, team second of the quarter. 8:31 to go in the quarter. It is Mount Allison by 1 over the St. Thomas Tommies. And Mumford on the line shooting 2. Sophie, such good hands on the reach. Got the foul on that one. To give the Mounties a 3-point lead is good. Tommy's working around the outside. Sturkle's going to watch the hook in the post. 3-point shot missed by Owens. Rebound to Besselink. Sturkle denied by Mumford in the post. Besselink with a cutting Maddie Owens. Technical foul called on Coach Chase. Must have been some magic words said there on the sideline to referee Forsyth. Coach Chase is a little warm about that call. Jeffrey to the line to shoot. Jeffrey to the miss. It'll be Tommy's ball. Long shot missed by Sturkle. Mounties looks like they've dropped into a zone here now, Mount Allison. Rebound inside by Nowlin. Reach foul on Madison Owens. That's not a good place to give up a foul on the floor. My guess on that last trip in the foul, that's about Sturkle in the post, hooking the arm around Mumford. That's my guess as to what the discussion was about there on the sideline that rose the technical. 15-12 Mounties, 7:40 to go in quarter number 2. Nowlin makes the three. Nowlin with the steal. Veselink was looking for the offensive foul there. Instead, it will go on Sophie. And Nowlin will go to the line. That'll be Sophie's second. Coach Connor's looking for a timeout here, I believe. Philbrick and Hawks check back in for Mount Allison. So 18-12 here in quarter number 2. The Mount Allison Mounties on a 5-0 run to start this quarter, and back on the line looking for more in this one. This is the only action of the weekend for both of these two teams. Next game for the Tommies. The 6th at UKC, 4 o'clock start. The 7th at MSBU, a noon start. And the next home game for St. Thomas, we'll have that right here on Tommy's TV, is November 13th versus Crandall. And then on the very next day, the 14th, they will host UNBSJ. Both 1 o'clock starts for the Mounties. They get their home opener Friday, November 5th versus Crandall, a 6 p.m. start. Then on the 13th, they go at MSBU. That's going to be a 2 o'clock start before hosting Kings at 1 on Sunday, the 14th. Check ACAA.tv for links for webcast coverage of all of those games. Of course, MountyPride.ca for Mountie program information. GoTommies.ca for STU program information. Check out all that's going on for your favorite team. First one is good for Nowlin. Second one is short, but rebound goes to Mount Allison and out of bounds off of Greatorix. Jeffrey on the dribble for Besselink. Maddie Owens. Alyssa Jeffrey. Sturkle has good post position now. And travel on Maddie Owens. Turnover, Tommies. Ball back to Mount Allison. Tommies can't get continuity on offense. That's the story of this quarter. On the Tommy sideline, Kylie Roy off the bench. Be looking to check back in. Janes on the fake. Nowlin. Greatorix to the corner. Now back up top for Nowlin again. She drives. Greatorix gets the long shot off. Goes board and cord for 3. To push the Mounties lead to 12. Tommy scoreless here through 3.5 minutes of this quarter. Break the press. Now Besselink for Kate Ross. Inside for Sturkle. Sturkle goes off glass, and she's met there by Greatorix. And bringing it away on the miss are the Mounties. Hannah Hawks makes 2. Mounties now doubling up the Tommies, 24-12. Maddie Owens for 3 again. A miss. Rebound to Janes, up for Greatorix. Been impressed by Greatorix this early part of the season. James for Hawks. Philbrick. On the drive, Nowlin nowhere to go, but down to the floor, and Tommies take it away. Big takeaway for the Tommies. Besselink will slow things down. Now brings it front court. Stepping out of bounds is Alyssa Jeffrey. Another turnover for the Tommies. Caitlin Simard in for Mount Allison, and Kylie Roy in for St. Thomas. Reese Nowlin going out along with Madison Owens. James. Greatorex. Hawks on the drive. Legal screen on Greatorex. Ball goes over to St. Thomas. Shot missed by Roy, taken away by the Mounties, but it's Roy hustling on the defensive end to knock that out of bounds. Jillian Mumford checks back in. So far in this game, the Tommies have not had the same pace of play, particularly driven by the defensive end. It's probably going to be a charge on James. Good step in by Besselink. And it is charge on Tori Janes. Janes is second. Team's third. Alina Ross and Emma Connors, both were out of action last weekend. Check in for the Tommies. Kate Ross. Ross had 8 points in the first quarter last Sunday. Don't believe it's scored yet here today. Ross on the drive. She gets to the bucket, but can't get it to go. Emma Connors on the rebound, blocked by Mumford and taken away by Philbrick. So far, the Mounties not missing Abby Miller, who was out injured in this one. Philbrick on the miss. Rebound controlled by Kate Ross. Ross for Roy. Roy off glass and in. That's more of the pace that the Tommies are looking for. Foul goes on Hannah Hawks. Her first, team's fourth in the quarter. 4:36 to play. Tommies looking to cut it from a double-digit lead to 9 with a make here. Gaines to the front court. Mumford. Mumford for Hawks. Hawks puts up the shot. That's short. But there's Simard. Simard is met and blocked by Kylie Roy. Little pump fake there, and I believe that was going to be an easy shot finish for Simard. Good hustle by Roy to get the block. Tommy stuck 9, and we've got a timeout on the floor. Take just a short break, and we'll be back for action just after the timeout. Ten seconds to go here in the timeout, quarter number 2. Tommy's trailing by 9 in this opening game of the season. 4:15 to play before halftime. I'm Bill Gibson. You're watching Tommy's TV, available through ACAA.tv and streaming on YouTube. Pick up all the action here all season long. Next action here from this gym will be Sunday. That'll be some volleyball action. Tommy men and women against UMBSJ 2 and 4. But we're getting the season started here with some women's basketball. That's going to be a 24-second violation. It's going to go white ball. 4:11 to go before halftime. More pressure from the Mounties against the young backcourt. Nearly a turnover there. Connors for Alina Ross. Ross, the rookie from Victoria, BC. Kate Ross. Alyssa Jeffrey with 4 to shoot. Blocked by Mumford and taken away by Mumford. Mountie defense has once again stymied the Tommies' shot attempt. Mumford batted away by Roy. Coach Chase pointing to the sidelines, believed Roy was out, and then came back in, was first to touch the ball. Not sure why there wasn't a whistle there. I'm sure that's what he's pointing out. Couldn't quite tell from my angle and the railing in the way. It's going to go a foul on Mumford, and we'll send Roy to the line to shoot 2. And now Roy to make it a 7-point Mounties lead. Miss taken away by Janes. Mounties up 8. Janes in the front court. Torrey loses the handle. That's going to be a turnover over to St. Thomas. Besselink in for Connors. Connors playing this one. Minutes are restricted, coming off the injury. Roy uses the Besselink screen, gets some space, doesn't shoot. Olena Ross guarded up high by Mumford. Mounties back to man-to-man, woman-to-woman defense. 3 made by Besselink. Reese Nowlin drives, gets paint, step through, draws a foul. Foul, I believe, will go on Roy, number 4. It's going to be a block on Roy. Her first, team's 5th. Both teams in bonus here as we finish the final 2:48 of the half. Nowlin, who I believe will be the leading scorer at the half, to the line to shoot one more time. Two of 2 for Nowlin. And it's a 7-point lead for the Mounties. No one stops Besselink until she gets 15 feet from the rim. Rebound inside by Ross. She looks to go back up. Defended by Mumford, and Mumford comes away with the ball. Heavily guarded there by the Tommies. No foul, but it's a takeaway by Besselink. Besselink finds Kate Ross for Olena Ross. Olena Ross on the miss. Rebound again for Mumford. Rookie on rookie, you can bet they're going to have a lot of battles throughout their careers here in the ACAA. And a 3-pointer from Reese Nowlin. Nowlin lighting it up here against the Tommies in the first half, but draws a foul on that play. Nowlin second. Philbrick off the bench. And in for Nowlin. Probably won't see Nowlin now until the second half with those 2 fouls. On the line in the bonus, Alyssa Jeffrey. Nothing but net on the first one. And the second. Nice look inside from Mumford. Double teamed by the Tommies, and the Tommies take the ball away. Jeffrey on Feasby, and Feasby knocks it out of bounds. Post pass for Ross, catches it 15 feet. Inside, that's Kate Ross. Now outside for Jeffrey. 12 on the shot clock. Foul there on Samard on Roy. away to shoot 2. Second foul on Simard. First bonus shot is good. As is the second. Tommy's closed the gap now back to 6. Once was 12. 29-23, minute and a half to go here in the first half, and that's another turnover from Mount Allison. Greater X too tall on the pass for Mumford. And it's timeout Tommy's. Tommy's look to build a little momentum here going into the final minute and a half of this half. Tommy's, I think, be happy to keep this one close at the half. For being down 12. They can be within 3 or 4 or less at halftime. Have to be happy with that. And of course, where the Mounties won the second half in last weekend's game, have to think that they would be happy to get through the first half with a lead as well. Once again, it is a short-staffed Tommy squad in this one. Laura Nanskiebel, 6-foot rookie forward out of Heartland and Heartland High School. She, of course, is a dual sport athlete, has only been practicing with the team for a week or so. Still has to get up to speed on systems and all of that. You have to think her minutes may be limited. Sam Stordy, second-year 5'11" forward out of Bernice McNaughton, out with a broken wrist. Probably gone the entire semester. Connors that we talked about on a minutes limit. Alina Ross on a pain limit. And Abby Draper still out. Unknown timeline on Draper. And of course, Emily Owens, who was one of the Energizer Bunnies on this Tommy's team, down with that high ankle sprain, and she's a few weeks away from playing. Rebound inside, Alina Ross, taken away on the Mumford miss. A minute to play, Tommy's trail by 6. Roy on the baseline drive. She stops now outside for Jeffrey. Jeffrey for 3. Back rim. Rebound to Simard. Ross looks to cut her off. Feasby on the far side. Feasby on the drive. Met by Jeffrey. A nice knock away by Jeffrey. Besselink on the control. 40 seconds to go now in the half. Besselink takes the long 3. Back rim on that. It looked good from here, but just a little strong. Philbrick on the rebound, and now Greatorex to the front court. Trapped by the Tommies. Tommies picking up the defensive pressure. Foul will go on number 5, Kate Ross. Oh, it goes on number 4, Kylie Roy. It's going to be her second. Maddie Greatorex on the line. Good on the first. Stretches the lead to 7. It was 1 point at quarter time. Now it's 8. Celine Sturkle checks back in for the Tommies. Alina Ross to the bench. Hannah Hawks in for Maddie Greatorex for the final 27.6 of this first half. Inside the post for Sturkle. Good double team by Mount Allison, and Hawks to knock that away from Sturkle. Sturkle needs to be stronger on the ball on that one. Alternating possession, that will go to Mount Allison, and somehow out of that, Sturkle picks up a foul. Not entirely sure I saw a foul on that play. Certainly a turnover, I thought. Back to the line to try to tack onto the lead. That's Hawk. She makes the first. Up off the bench waiting to check in is Lauren Furlong. Mounties going deep into their bench here. Rebound, no. But it is knocked out of bounds by Besselink. Boxing out Philbrick. And with 13.9 to play here in the quarter and a 9-point lead, Coach Chase calls timeout with his team inbounding the ball underneath the offensive end. Coach Conard with a little stink eye towards the officials on that last call on Sturkle. Into the timeout. Draw up a defense. Can't quite get a look into the Mounties huddle to see what Coach Chase is drawing up. Of course, folks, immediately following this one, we'll have the men's game, same two schools, St. Thomas and Mount Allison. Stick around for that one if you're watching on the webcast. If you're in the local area here in Fredericton and you can get here, come on down. That was a 2-point game won in the last 2 seconds by the Tommies in one of the better basketball games that I have seen in some time. That another one that should be a dandy. Of course, never know until you get into those games. They live up to the potential of the matchup. Back to this one with just under 14 seconds to go in this half. Mounties will be inbounding the ball. Simard, Philbrick, Hawks, Feasby, and Mumford on the offensive end for Mount Allison. Play here, Simard on the inbound. Hawks, now Feasby. Hawks was on the long curl, Feasby on the flare. Feasby on the catch. 7 seconds on the game clock to the corner for Simard. Simard makes the three. Well executed if that's what Coach drew up. And that pushes the lead back up to 12. It was 12 and then cut to 6 with Tommy's a chance to take it lower. But it is the Mounties matching their largest lead of the first half, taking that lead to halftime. 35-23, Mount Allison leading St. Thomas here in opening game action on the ACAA schedule. I'm Bill Gibson. We're going to take about a 15-minute break, and we'll be back with second half action. Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome back to the Lady Brook Gymnasium here in beautiful Fredericton, New Brunswick. We are just about set for second half action. Opening game of the ACAA season. Mount Allison Mounties leading the home team, St. Thomas Tommies, by a score of 35-23. Mounties held a 13-12 lead at the end of the first quarter. Stretched that out to 12 partway through the second. Tommies cut that down to 5 or 6, but in the end of the quarter, Mounties with another little run to go up by the 12-point margin that they have right now. It will be Tommy's ball to start the second half. Besselink, Sophie, Sturkle, Madison Owens, and Kate Ross, the 5 game starters for the Tommies. And it will be Greatorix, Sophie Trail, Mumford, Nowlin, and Janes, the game starters for the Mounties. Driving and missing the lay-in is Kate Ross, taken away by Jillian Mumford. Up for Trail and Nowlin. Mumford for Janes. Nowlin on the drive, guarded by Madison Owens. 5 on the shot clock, it's Mumford. Blocked there by Madison Owens. We're going to have a jump ball with 2 seconds on the shot clock. It's going to stay Mount Allison ball. Good tie up there by Madison Owens with Jillian Mumford. And not good shot clock awareness there by Sophie Trail on that one. 2 seconds to shoot, can't do a catch and several dribbles, have to get it right up. Not good help from the bench either, didn't hear anyone yelling. Only 2 on the shot clock. So it is Tommy's ball. Sturkle to the corner for Ross, looking inside for Madison Owens. She spins back to the middle now, cuts back left, scores 2. Nice take from Madison Owens. Get the Tommy scoring started here in the second half. Tommy's down 10, Mounties ball in their front court. Post pass intercepted by Ross. Ross on the run, doesn't have numbers, she pulls it back out. Now it is Madison Owens on the secondary break. She scores from the other side of the hoop. Tommies cut the lead to 6 right away. I was expecting hard full court pressure from the Tommies here to start the half. Haven't seen it so far, but they've cut into the lead by 4. Shot up and too strong, taken away by Sturkle for Owens, and now Ross. Ross has Sophie. Sophie looks to drive. She goes up off glass. She draws the foul. I think that will be the 3rd on whoever that goes against. That's going to go on Mumford. I know that's only her 2nd. Team's 1st. Sophie to the line. Her team trailing by 8. To cut it to 7. Tommies are taking a quick 5 points off the Mountie lead. Not 2 minutes gone here into this third quarter. And they have the ball back, trailing by 7. Besselink on the inbound for Sturkle, guarded by Mumford. Sturkle goes baseline. Back outside, Sophie. Sophie on the drive. She stops now, kicks to the corner for Ross. Ross drives by Janes, met by Mumford and blocked. Greatorix into the front court. Janes for Nowlin. She puts up the 3. She has to be the leading scorer of the half, and that's going to be an over the back on Mumford, and that will be her 3rd. 2nd here early in this quarter. Up off the bench quickly is Megan Philbrick for Mount Allison. Mumford starting this one in place of the injured Abby Miller. Picks up her 3rd. Just played over 2 minutes here in quarter number 3. Sophie for 2. No good. Rebound to Philbrick. Janes, too strong for Nowlin. Reese, I believe, stopped running on that one, was looking to fade back for the three instead of going hard. Lead pass from Janes, out of reach. Sophie for Besselink. Out of bounds and then back in. That's going to be Mount Allison ball. Sophie trail. She's been fairly quiet in this one so far. Janes uses the Philbrick screen. Greatorex inside for Philbrick. Knocked out by the Tommies. Mounties inbound. Pass for Philbrick in the post. She does the step through on Sturkle, but Sturkle comes away with the board. Kate Ross draws a foul. That's going to go on Tori Janes. That's going to be her third. Katie Feesby checks in. Janes to the bench. So now Janes and Mumford, two starters for the Mounties, in foul trouble with three. Circle looks for the step through, doesn't get it. Back to Vanessa Sophie. Sophie goes off glass and no rim. Taken away by the Mounties. And it's Nowlin in the front court. Feesby guarded by Besselink. Cross court pass. Sophie looking for the pickoff. Doesn't get it. Good catch by Greatorex. Nowlin for two. No. Rebound goes to Vanessa Sophie. Sophie dribbles out of the backcourt now for Kate Ross. Ross crosses the three-point line. Besselink. Vanessa Sophie kick out for Mary Besselink for three. Tommies run to start this quarter. Mount Allison is scoreless. We've played 3 minutes 45 seconds in quarter number three. Tommies now trailing only by 4. Greatorex to Nowlin, guarded by Maddie Owens. Nowlin tries the layup from 15 feet. It doesn't go. Sturkle and Ross to the bench in favor of Kylie Roy and Alyssa Jeffrey. Another sub Tommies were trying to get in, didn't get to the bench in time. Looks like Emma Connors. Check in at the next stoppage of play. Besselink on the drive outside for Roy. Roy for three. And it's a 1-point game. Tommies 11-0 run here to start the second half. What was a 12-point lead, now down to only 1. The Tommies surging. Feesby for Philbrick. And now Greatorex. Let's see if the Mounties can respond. 5 on the shot clock. Trail. No good. Rebound to the Mounties. Pardon me, to the Tommies. And St. Thomas can take the lead here with a score on this trip. Jeffrey for three. No good. Inside rebound Owens, but taken away by Greatorex. And that's going to be a foul on Kylie Roy. That will be her third. Subs now in. Emma Connors for St. Thomas, in for Vanessa Sophie. And I believe that's Hannah Hawks, number 6, checking in for the Mounties. We've got timeout Mount Allison. They've seen their 12-point lead cut down to 1. We haven't even played half of this third quarter. Mounties yet to score. Take one short break. We'll be back when action picks up out of this timeout. Timeout's over. 5:07 to go here in quarter number 3. St. Thomas Tommies on an 11-0 run to start this second half. Mounties yet to score. They will be inbounding the ball. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Hawks, Philbrooks, Greater X, Feesby, and Trail, who has the ball there now, on the court for Mount Allison. Guarded by Madison Owens and knocked out of bounds. That's going to be off of Philbrick. Tommy's ball. Tommy's turned the Mounties over again. Now we see pressure from Mount Allison. Again, without the veteran Sophie on the court for St. Thomas. That seems to be the move for Mount A, to come hard with the pressure on the young backcourt. See how the Tommies handle it. Connors in the corner. Connors on the drive. She loses it off the knee, but knocked out by the Mounties. Stays St. Thomas ball with 11 on the shot clock. Connors thought about the shot. Roy, 5 on the shot clock. Besselink, she's aware. She's going to put it up. Good shot from Besselink off front rim. Emma Connors looks to track it down. And we're going to have a jump ball in the corner. Possession will go to St. Thomas on the alternating possession. Mounties had it to start the half. Sophie back in. Kylie Roy and her 3 fouls to the bench. Alina Ross also off the bench to check in for Madison Owens. Let's see if Ross can bring same defensive energy that Owens was giving the Tommies. Tommies look like a different team here in the second half. With a score here, they can take the lead from the Mounties. Connors for 3, back rim. Connors fights for the rebound. It's going to go out of bounds to Mount Allison. Pressure now from St. Thomas. Been expecting this to be set all this half. And it is turned over by the Mounties. Really unforced error on that play. Didn't really have time to get the pressure set. Up off the bench, Caitlin Simard for the Mounties. She'll come in next stoppage of play. Sophie on the drive. She was looking to draw the foul. Instead, it just goes out of bounds. And it will be Caitlin Simard, 5'9" guard. First year out of Timmins, Ontario, and Llewellyn Park Secondary. Checking in for Mount Allison. .24-second shot clock is reset. 4:14 to go here in quarter number 3. Mount Allison clinging to a 1-point lead. Tommy's on an 11-0 run to start this second half. Nearly picked off by Sophie into the corner. Shot put up by Hawks, too strong. 2 redshirts there to rebound. And now it is Sophie Trail. She's going to make the 3. That was a bucket the Mounties were looking for. And now it is the Mounties showing pressure with the 4-point lead. Mounties go over 6 minutes in quarter number 3 without a bucket. Still have the 4-point lead. Emma Connors draws the foul on Hannah Hawks, and Connors will shoot 2. First one rims out for Connors. Second one also no good. Rebound fought for, but it's out off the Mounties. Hawks had a chance to pick that one up, elected not to. And it goes Tommy's basketball. Ross in the post with the high catch at 15 feet. Ross now looks to drive on Philbrick. Ross goes for the up and under move off glass, no good. Rebound to Philbrick. Outside for Simard. Off of Connors, that's going to stay Mounties' ball. Good pressure from the Tommies. Besselink looks for the steal. That's going to go for a foul on the Tommies. Tommies were looking for the tie-up. That's going to be Besselink's second. Greaterix checks in for Hawks on the Mountie sideline. Kylie Roy in for Emma Connors. And Kate Ross for Alyssa Jeffrey. Fresh 24 for the Mounties. Knocked away by Alina Ross. That's going to be the tie-up the Tommies were looking for. Possession will stay with Mount A. .15 on the shot clock. Tommy's defense has picked it up a notch here in the second half. Sophie Trail guarded by Alina Ross. Tommies have dropped into a zone here, it looks like. Three-pointer made by Sophie Trail. Trail has all the Mountie points here in this half. 2 3-pointers made. Take by Besselink into Greaterix. We're going to shoot 2. As the lead stretches back to 7. On the 2 straight made 3-pointers. Tommy's got the 12-point lead down to as few as 1 with the 11-0 run. Now it's Besselink on the line. And now subs in. Owens for Ross. Janes with 3 fouls checks back in for Greaterix. Trail against 2 Tommies. Knocked away, Janes. Now Philbrick. Philbrick to the front court. Janes guarded by Kate Ross. Tommy look to double Janes. Trail open as a shooter. She just made 2. Make that 3 3-pointers in a row. The lead back to 8. Sophie dribbles out of pressure for Besselink. Besselink drives baseline. Now inside for Maddie Owens off glass for 2. Nice passing play there from Besselink to Owens. Janes draws the contact and the foul on Roy. Veteran move by Janes to go into the rookie, pick up the foul. That's going to be Roy's fourth personal foul on Roy. Sturkle in off the bench. Roy will have to go take a seat. Tommies are going to need some scoring out of Sturkle to get back into this one. They now trail by 6. Ross didn't try for the pickoff there. Trail on the catch. Trail's made the 3 3-pointers. She goes down, ball on her hip. It's going to be a jump ball. That one go back to St. Thomas. Sophie goes by Trail. Sophie right into the paint. Pass for Sturkle. Sturkle up and in. Tommy's now down 4. Feesby for Trail. Trail on the fake. Looks to pass inside to Philbrick. Double teamed. We're going to have another jump ball. This one will stay Mount A. Good reach in there by Vanessa Sophie on the tie-up. Sturkle, good defensive position on Philbrick. .11 on the shot clock. Mount A to inbounds. Foul's going to go on Vanessa Sophie. That's going to be her third. I heard a clap noise, but I certainly didn't see a foul on that play. That would be a phantom foul of variety. It is close to Halloween. Janes on the drive. Double teamed. One to shoot, she gets it up, no rim. That's going to be a shot clock violation. Sophie for Kate Ross. Circle looking for post position. Sophie cross court for Owens. That three's no good. But rebound Vanessa Sophie. We're under a minute to play here in the quarter. Sophie on the drive off glass scores two. We're back to a 2-point ball game. Madison Owens looks to guard Simard. Sophie on the steal from Simard. Sophie for Kate Ross in the backcourt. Commies can tie with a score. Madison Owens looks inside for Sturkle. Sturkle off glass. Game tied. Commies have erased the 12-point halftime deficit, and we're tied at 44. Mounties trail. She's been deadly. Janes fakes the three. Now dribbles. Nowhere to go. Lucky not a foul there on Madison Owens. Philbrick off rim. Madison Owens fights for it, and the Tommies come away. Front court for Sturkle. Sturkle's just had 2 buckets. She spins, puts it up, looking for the lead, can't get it. Chases down the rebound, no good. Philbrick controls, and it's trail on the chalk. We go to the end of the quarter. Tied at 44, St. Thomas Tommies erase a 12-point halftime deficit to be deadlocked with the Mount Allison Mounties. Mounties in some foul trouble. Tommies in some foul trouble. Kylie Roy's got 4 for St. Thomas. On the Mountie side, Janes and Mumford each have 3. Expect to see them both early in quarter number 4. This game started to heat up here in the second half. Tommies opened, of course, with an 11-0 run. Trail hit 3 3-pointers, and then the Tommies came back again to tie it up. Apologies for the quick break there, folks. A little visitor here to the broadcast area. A little visit from Abby Draper's mom. Some feedback on the broadcast. Abby, of course, out injured. I believe she's nursing a concussion, so timeline unknown on that one. Always happy to have feedback here in the broadcast booth. Go on over for a visit anytime. Just find a break in the action between quarters like that is great. We are tied at 44 here going to quarter number 4. It will be St. Thomas ball, and they can take the lead in the 4th quarter with a bucket here. Ross on the drive for Sturkle. Sturkle looks to spin, but blocked. Good defense by Mumford. It is Greatorix, Nowlin, Mumford, Janes, and Simard for Mount Allison to start the quarter. That's Mumford on the outside for Simard. Nowlin Nowlin on the drive. Off glass and scores. Reese Nowlin gives the Mounties the lead. Besselink now up front for Maddie Owen. She takes the three, makes the three. Maddie Owen's second three of the game. 47-46 St. Thomas. Played just about a minute here in quarter number 4. I think we're in for a good finish in this one. Nice pass from Janes inside to Mumford. Double teamed and the ball out of bounds. Knocked out by the Tommies. Good defense by St. Thomas. Janes. Guarded by Sturkle. Janes goes glass. Rebound by Sturkle. Owens on the drive. Owens had the last score. She puts it up off the rim too strong. Taken away by Simard. Janes under no pressure into the front court. Nowlin squares up against Ross. Now drives off glass and scores. Nowlin knows how to use that backboard. That puts the Mounties in front by 1. Besselink for Ross. Inside Sturkle. Sturkle looks to drive on Mumford. Sturkle looks to put it up. That's out of bounds, blocked out by Mumford. And it will be St. Thomas ball. 9 to shoot. Besselink inbounds for Sturkle for 3. Sturkle nothing but net. Turns around to look at Mumford. Says block that. I'll step back here and shoot the 3. Tommies +2 on the Mounties. Nowlin, Greatorix. Mumford looking inside. Nowlin on the catch. I believe that pass was supposed to go to Simard. Now Simard gets it, but it's blocked by St. Thomas and taken away. Tommies can take their biggest lead of the game with a score here. Back for Sophie for 3. Too strong. Rebound by Nowlin. Besselink's going to pick up the foul on that one. That will be now Besselink's third. Trail off the bench for Mount Allison. Simard comes out. Kate Ross out. Alyssa Jeffrey in. Alina Ross in for Sturkle. And Sam Connors in for Madison Owens. Tommies trailed by 12 at half. Now lead by 2. 7:39 to go here in quarter number 4. Janes in the front court. Janes dribbles to Nowlin. Nowlin picks up the foul. I believe that's going to go on Connors. Nowlin with the nose for the basket. Connors picks up another foul. Her second, team's third here in quarter number 4. Let's see if those team fouls play a factor down the stretch, putting the Mounties to the line. Besselink on the block and the steal on the inbounds. And Besselink steps out after catching the ball, toe on the line. Back to Mount A, 14 on the shot clock. Trail. Trail's been dangerous, that's Janes. Janes on the drive. Back for Mumford. Mumford can't get it to go, and a rebound to Vanessa Sophie. Good blocks out there by the Tommies. Cross court for Jeffrey. Jeffrey drives baseline, goes up off glass, can't get it to go. That will be Mumford, that's going to be her 4th. Already at the table is Philbrick. Mumford will stay with 4 fouls and 7:01 to play. Reese Nowlin to the bench. Oh, she was already off. I don't think this can be allowed. Nowlin was already off. This should not. She was already on the bench. She had crossed the line already and come over. She should not be allowed back on the court. here comes Mumford off. Mounties got away with one there. She had left the playing surface once behind the line. Should not have been allowed to do that, at least to my knowledge of the record book, or the rule book, pardon me. Nonetheless, Coach Chase gets Mumford off the court with 4 fouls. Connors on the rebound, off glass, no good. Janes comes away with the rebound miss. Janes to the front court. Cross court. Nowlin, she's going to take the 3 and make the 3. That puts the Mounties back up by 1. Seesaw fourth quarter so far. Besselink far side. Has Ross in the post. Nice catch by Ross. Ross makes the 2. Olena Ross gets on the scorebook and puts the Tommies up by 2. Pardon me, up by 1. Trail on the outside for Janes. Janes fakes. Now back to Trail. 8 on the shot clock. She takes a 15-foot runner off the back of the board. Out for Vanessa Sophie. No numbers for the Tommies, but Sophie drives paint anyway. Picks up the foul on Janes. That will be Janes' 4th. That gets Katie Feesby off the bench for Mount A. Janes to the bench. Subs in for the Tommies. 11 is Besselink back in, and Kate Ross, number 5. So for the Tommies, it's Ross, Besselink, Jeffrey, and Connors, who's inbounding to Jeffrey. Kate Ross comes off the bench shooting. Mount Allison ball, trailing by 1. 6 minutes to go, quarter number 4. Feesby on the drive. She goes off glass too strong. Rebound, Mary Besselink. Kate Ross for Emma Connors. In the post for Olena Ross. Back for Kate Ross. Besselink. 10 on the shot clock. She drives. Looks for the foul. She gets the foul. Trouble for the Mounties if that's on Nowlin. Instead, it goes on Megan Philbrick. Philbrick, second-year forward out of Toronto. Picks up her first, team's 3rd of the quarter. Team fouls 3-3. Besselink puts the Tommies up 2. And 3. Subs in for Mount Allison. Is 6 is Hannah Hawks. And Madison Owens back in for the Tommies. Person-to-person pressure from St. Thomas. Feesby with the 3. Catches nothing. And we're going to go the other way. St. Thomas Tommies ball. Clean out of bounds off the shot from Feesby. Ross under pressure with Connors. Connors for Besselink. Jeffrey on the drive. She's got space off glass for 2. Timeout Mount Allison. Tommies with their biggest lead of the game. Stretch it to 5 with 5:06 to play here in quarter number 4. I'm Bill Gibson. You're watching Tommies TV via ACAA.tv and YouTube. We thank you for watching this one. Coming up immediately following this one with the same 2 schools on the men's side. Stay tuned if you're watching on the webcast. If you're in the Fredericton area, watch the end of this one here. Jump in your car. You should have lots of time to get here. 20-minute warm-up for that men's tap. Get yourself here. These athletes deserve support. And of course, folks, right across the parking lot in what can only be called a very poor schedule, the UNB Varsity Reds are opening at home this weekend. Correction, the UNB Reds. There's no more varsity. When I went to school there, folks, at UNB, they were all separate names. The basketball were the Red Bloomers and the Red Raiders, women and men respectively. During my tenure at UNB, there was a vote, and it was varsity Reds, and just in the last couple years, they've dropped the varsity and are now just the Reds. Taken me a long time to get used to that, and I'll probably still call them the varsity Reds for some time. Anyway, the Reds are opening up at the exact same time across the parking lot in the Curry Center against St. of X. X on the men's side. Maybe, I think they were in the coaches poll, the top-ranked team in the coaches poll to start the season. So poor scheduling here on someone's part to have these, both of these local schools playing head-to-head, 200 feet apart in the parking lot. I'd like to see that avoided in the future if at all possible. My money right here, the ACAA action, the game across the way, can't be any better than this one we've had so far. Kate Ross inside for Besselink. Besselink kicks it back out for Jeffrey for three. Too strong. Besselink fights for the rebound. He's going to get the over-the-back foul. A little too aggressive on the rebounding for Mary Besselink over the back of Sophie Trail, who had the good block out. That's going to be 4 on Besselink. Sturkle for Besselink will be the sub here as Coach Connors pulls Mary Besselink with 4:40 to go and her fourth foul. Team's fourth foul of the quarter. Feesby. Back for Sophie Trail. Katie Feesby, guarded by Kate Ross. Feesby drives. Six to shoot. Mounties lose it out of bounds. Good defense by the Tommies. Mumford and Janes, both with 4 fouls, check in for Mount Allison. Coach Sage says it's time. We need you on the court. Feesby and Hawks to the bench. And now it's the Mounties. Their starting lineup back on the court. Some with foul trouble, turning up the pressure here on the Tommies. Kylie Roy for Alyssa Jeffrey. Back to Roy. Roy drives. Now back outside Maddie Owens. Thought about the three. Now drives Payne herself. Loses the handle to 2 Mounties, but it's taken right back away by Alyssa Jeffrey for Celine Sturkle. Sturkle for Kate Ross. Ross fakes the three. Ross has 2 on the drive. Too strong though. And it's rebound Sophie Trail. Trail to the front court. Trail's got speed. Trail stop, pops for 14 for 2. 3:40 to go, and we have a 3-point game. Tommies break the pressure. Kate Ross. Sturkle in the post. Sturkle on Mumford. Outside for Roy. Long shot, too strong. Sturkle down to the court. She's going to have to get back up. Mounties instead slow it down. Opportunity there to run with numbers. Trail blocked by Maddie Owens. Corralled by Mumford. 5 on the shot clock. Trail. Mumford. Mumford, no good. Under 3 to play. Jeffrey for 3. Tommy stretched the lead to 6. Nowlin trips over to the center line. Mumford. Janes uses the Mumford screen. Nowlin, she can shoot the 3. That's short. Rebound to Mumford. Inside. Draws the foul on Maddie Owens. Converts. It will be Bowness's High School. Jillian Mumford to the line. Chance to convert the and 1 to cut the Tommies' lead down by 1 more point. Coach Connors calls timeout, says let's make the rookie think about that free throw just a little bit. Tommies leading by 4 in this one. Team fouls, Tommies have 5, so the Mounties will be in the bonus situation every subsequent Tommies foul. Mounties only have 3, so have 1 to give before they get into the bonus situation for St. Thomas. See how that plays out as we get towards the end of this one. This one turns into a free throw shooting competition. 15 seconds to go in the timeout. In what has been a great response here in the second half by the Tommies. They were down 12 at halftime for a second quarter that went mostly in the Mounties' direction. They erased that almost entirely with an 11-0 run to start the half, with Sophie Trail with 2 or 3 big three-pointers push the Mountie lead up again. And from that point on, it has been the Tommies taking the momentum, stop short of saying control, but the momentum, as they now have the 4-point lead. But it is the free throw for Mumford to convert the and one after the make on the nice catch and shoot in the post. Mumford cuts it to 3. Pressure from the Mounties. Tommies break it. Sophie for Sturkle. Back to Sophie. She's going to take the 3. That one rims out. Rebound is fought for. Taken away by Sophie Trail. Trail goes 1 on 3. Knocked away. Mumford picks it up. James. 2:05 to go here in quarter number 4. Mounties trailing by 3. Out of the corner, that's Greatorix. Mounties tie it up on a 3 by Maddie Greatorix. .150 to go here in quarter 4. Roy drives too strong. Rebound by Trail. Trail for Greatorix. Greatorix has James on the far side. Instead, it's Greatorix with the power step move. And timeout Tommies as the Mounties have quickly erased the 6-point Tommy lead to take the lead by 2. 1:39 to go. Timeout Coach Connors. This has been nothing short of an entertaining second half in this game. Glad after almost getting reassigned there at the end of the first quarter to the PA position here, to have been able to stay in the webcast commentary spot to bring this one to you. I'm Bill Gibson. You're watching Tommy's TV. Reminder coming right up, it is the men's game. These same 2 schools to follow. Tommy's coming off a 2-point win over the Mounties last weekend on the men's side. And it is the Mountie women holding a 2-point lead in this one. And it will be the Tommies coming up court looking for a score. And Mount A with an opportunity to set pressure. Timeout, timer is off, and it's 1:39 to play in this quarter number 4. Tommies advance the ball to half after the timeout, where it will be Jeffrey inbounding for St. Thomas. For Vanessa Sophie. Uses the screen, cross-court pass for Kate Ross. Kate Ross for 3 off the side of the backboard. Rebound, Janes and Owens on the tie-up. Possession will go to Mount Allison. Minute 30 now to play in quarter 4. Trail for Greatorix. Guarded by Jeffrey. Now for Trail. Mumford. Janes. Nowlin, she's danger. No good, but rebound to Trail. Doubled, knocked out of bounds by St. Thomas. I believe Nowlin threw that off of Sophie. And inbounding with 7 on the shot clock will be Maddie Greatorix. Tommies need a stop here. Janes into the paint. Back for Greatorix for 3. She just made one. That one doesn't go. Nowlin fights for the rebound. We're going to have a jump ball. That's going to go St. Thomas. Pressure from Mount Allison. 57 seconds on the game clock here in this quarter number 4. Madison Owens on the catch. Besselink. Owens. Sophie. Sophie drives, and she picks up a foul. That's going to be a block and 2 shots. That's going to go on Mumford. That's going to be her 5th. She will foul out. Mounties will take the 30 seconds. Talk this one over. And it will be Caitlin Simard off the bench. So Mounties go smaller with Simard. Coming out of the timeout, it will be Vanessa Sophie on the line, needing the 2 free throws for the tie. In a seesaw second half, Sophie can give us another deadlock. And we're tied at 61 with 42 seconds to play in quarter number 4. Trail to the front court, guarded by Sophie. Now Nowlin. Simard, I think she might have got away with a travel there. Greaterix for Janes. Janes for Trail. Trail on the drive. Inside goes off glass, doesn't get it to go, but gets her own rebound. Surrounded by Tommies, we're going to have another jump ball. Possession arrow Mounties with 21 seconds to play. $11 on the shot clock for Mount Allison. Even on a score, the Tommies should get the ball back. Inbounded and taken away by St. Thomas. Sophie to the front court. 16 on the game clock. Inside, Maddie Owens on the lay-in. Oh, it doesn't go! Rebound ripped away by Greaterix. 8 on the game clock. We could be headed for overtime. Upside for Janes. Janes shoots the 3 with time expiring. No good. And we are headed to overtime, folks, here in game 1 of the ACAA season. Maddie Owens on the missed layup, rebound to Mount Allison. There would have been time left had Owens made the shot. Mounties probably would have called timeout, advanced the ball. Instead, we've got some free basketball. Overtime here in the opening game of the season. Tommy women and Mountie women have been putting on a show here in the second half in what has been a seesaw battle. Tommy's overcoming the 12-point halftime deficit. Folks, a reminder, Tommy's doing this with some key players out on injury. Starter Emily Owens is out. Sam Storty's key off the bench is out. Abby Draper out. And a couple other players that are limited by injury in terms of their minutes and their participation. And of course, Mount Allison missing starter and stalwart Abby Miller. Even shorthanded, both of these teams putting on the show here this evening for the fans in attendance. For all of those watching along at home, I'm pleased to be bringing you this one. We're going to get another 5 minutes of action. And folks, we've got lots of foul trouble on both sides. Let's see how this goes for this 5 minutes of overtime. Mumford already fouled out for Mount Allison. Several players with 4. Same situation on the Tommy side, several players with 4. Sure, Coach Connors would have liked to seen that shot by Maddie Owens go through. But even if it did, it didn't guarantee a win. Would have still been Mounties' ball with some time on the clock, probably about 6 seconds or so. And a timeout undoubtedly would have been called. Set for overtime. Tommy's inbound. Sophie with Jeffrey, Kate Ross, Mary Besselink, and Maddie Owens. Besselink on the drive, blocked by Greatorix. Besselink can't dance the baseline. She steps out of bounds. Mounties ball. Pressure now from St. Thomas. Janes with Simard, Greatorix, Trail, and Nowlin for Mount A here to open overtime. Trail. She takes the long jump shot. Rims out. Looked good from here. Kate Ross to the front court, guarded by Janes. Besselink in the corner. She's going to drive on Greatorix. Kicks it back out. Ross makes the shot. Travels. Feet shuffle. And that goes back over to Mount A. No scoring here in the first 42 seconds of overtime. Trail for Janes. Janes drives, kicks corner. Shot out of the corner is too strong. That was Trail on the miss. Rebound Kate Ross. Alyssa Jeffrey. Sophie on the drive, the kick for Kate Ross. Jeffrey, Maddie Owen, she's going to drive. 10 to shoot. Besselink, Ross. 6 on the shot clock for Sophie. Sophie's going to have to get one up. She does get one up. It doesn't go. Rebound to Sophie Trail. Trail and Janes. Wires crossed between Janes and Greatorix. Back to St. Thomas. Tommy's bench wanted a foul on that drive on Sophie. Didn't get it. Still tied. We played a minute and a half of overtime. Sophie looks for the up and under. She gets the call that time. No, I think we have a travel overruling that call. Coach Connors questioning the official on that one. I was pretty sure there was a foul signal. The referee had a travel. Greatorix. Simard. Nowlin for 3. Front rim. Rebound to Besselink. Good box out on Greatorix. Sophie open for 3 from top of key. Sophie with the first 3 points of overtime puts the Tommies in front. Janes. Cross court for Simard, who puts up a long shot. Rebound tapped by Janes, but it's Besselink who controls. Besselink caught from behind by Nowlin, who knocks it out of bounds. Tommies did not have numbers on that, but Besselink being aggressive, knocked out by Nowlin. 2:31 to play in overtime. Offensive foul on Besselink, push off. I believe that will be her 5th. That is her 5th. Besselink will fall out of that one. Referee Donnie Forsyth getting an earful from Coach Connors on that call. I didn't see a lot of advantage gained, but that's way the far corner away from me. Referee Matt Tweedy right on top of that one. Believe it will be Sturkle coming in. Sturkle had some key buckets for the Tommies in the 4th quarter. Mounties ball it is. Sturkle subbing in. Mountie slow to break huddle here. They will inbound at the far end line. Simard guarded by Maddie Owens. All the Tommies in the backcourt with pressure. Janes guarded by Kate Ross. Janes with a little bit of a blow by. Now she pulls it back out. Greatorex on Owens. Power step move off glass and in for Maddie Greatorex. And we've got a 1-point game. Jeffrey into the front court. 2:10 to play in overtime. Sturkle. Sophie. Sophie on the drive. She goes up front rim. Rebound to Simard. And now the Mounties can take the lead with a score. 1:50 to play in OT. Nowlin on the drive. Nowhere to go for Trail. Greatorex. Janes picks up the dribble for Trail. 6 on the shot clock. Trail dances. Janes with 3 to shoot. She goes paint. Finds the 2, and it is Tori Janes giving the Mounties the lead by 1. 65-64, a minute 30 to go in overtime. Inside Sturkle, she can give the Tommies the lead back. That one's too strong, but rebound Sturkle. She goes off glass and in, and it's the Tommies back by 1. Teeter-totter seesaw, here we go. Kylie Roy in for Kate Ross. Tommies gain an inch on the exchange. Tommies can't sub on their own made basket. So that sub is not allowed on the court. Simard cross court for Greatorex. Greatorex fouled by Sophie. That will put Greatorex on the line with 1:10 to play in the first overtime period. That will be Sophie's 4th. 1:10 to play, that should be okay. Greatorex can tie it here. Second chance for a tie. Tied at 66 with 1:10 to play in overtime. Kylie Roy. Inside, Sturkle, turn around. Sturkle's good for 2. Tommies up 2. Under a minute to go on the Mounties. Janes on the hesitation dribble. She goes off rim. Rebound to Maddie Owens. For Vanessa Sophie. Janes is going to give the foul. That's going to be her 5th, I believe, on Tori Janes. So several foul outs in this one. We knew fouls were going to be an issue here in overtime. Mumford and Janes out for the Mounties. Besselink out for St. Thomas. I believe this will be Vanessa Sophie going on to the line. 43.1 seconds to go in overtime. Sophie with her chance to give the Tommies a 4-point lead. +2 right now, 68-66, St. Thomas. Possession arrow does favor the Mounties. Mounties are in the bonus situation. Tommies will be on the next Mountie foul. So Simard, Feesby, Greatorex, Nowlin, and Trail. I have to think Nowlin, Trail, and Greatorex the main scorers or scoring options for Mount Allison. And it's Trail with Jeffrey, Roy, Sturkle, and Maddie Owens. A lot of rim, but it goes through for Vanessa Sophie, reigning player of the year here in the ACAA. Veteran has ice in her veins. She gives the Tommies a 4-point lead. 43 seconds to go in overtime. Nowlin for Greatorex. Greatorex on Sophie. She's going to score 2. 2-point lead, 32 seconds to go in overtime. Sturkle. Tommies need another score, I think, to salt this one away. Sophie on the dribble. 10 on the shot clock. Maddie Owens looks inside for Celine Sturkle. And Reese Nowlin gets a hand on it. Tommies will inbound. 7 seconds on the shot clock. 15 on the game clock. Tommies +2. Sturkle. Sturkle for Sophie. Sophie wide open from 18. It goes off the rim, then off the support. Out of bounds. That will be Mounties' ball. 8 seconds to go in overtime. Mount Allison trailing by 2. Sure, we'll see this ball advance to half. Again, no Mumford, no Janes. They fouled out of this one. For the Mounties. So you have to think the scoring options. Primary two for me would be Trail and Nowlin, the way they've played in this game. Greater the third threat, and of course, I believe it's Samard. And leaning through the post on the other side. Just trying to see who that fifth player is, and I can't. There's too many things in my way. Let's see what Coach Chase draws up here. His team needing a score. Needing 2 to send us to double overtime. And a 3 would win it. Tommy's defenders, Vanessa Sophie, Kylie Roy, Madison Owens, Celine Sturkle, and Alyssa Jeffrey. Mounties will inbound, advancing the ball. It's going to be Trail on the inbound. Look for her to receive the return pass and be danger here on this one. Mounties inbound for Greater X for Trail. That is the play, and she makes the 3. Mount Allison makes a 3-pointer. Sophie Trail on the inbound catch and return shot. Nails the 3-pointer to send Mount A up by 1. 4 seconds left in overtime. Timeout, Tommies. Can't ask for any more in this ball game, folks. This has been entertainment wall to wall here in the second half. Tommies Claude Black from a big deficit took the lead, and there you just saw that one. Here in overtime, Sophie Trail makes the 3. With 4 seconds left on the clock, made it clean on the inbounds play. And I'm not sure if I get credit for calling that one on the inbound. You could see that was developing, that Trail was going to get the ball back. She did from Greater X. Drained the 3-pointer. Trail, I think, has 4 now 3-pointers here in this second half. Mounties +1 on the Tommies here in overtime. 4 seconds to go, Tommies ball. And they will have the ball in their front court. I'm sure that's where Coach Connors will advance it. Looking for the score. Go for the Mounties. Sophie, Jeffrey, Owens, Sturkle, and Roy. It'll be Sturkle to inbound. Let's see if we see a similar play here from St. Thomas, with Sturkle getting the return pass. In for Owens. Owens turns in the post, up, off glass and in! Vanessa Sophie with 1.6 to go gives the Tommies a 1-point lead. And that will do it, folks. St. Thomas Tommies score in the last 2 seconds of the game to beat the Mount Allison Mounties 72-71 to kick off what's going to be an amazing season here in the ACAA. Tommies take this one by 1. What an entertaining ball game. Folks, thanks for watching along on this one. We're going to take about a 20-minute break. We'll come back with the men's game. If it's anywhere near half as good as this one, you are in for a treat. These women put on a show. Get out here and see these squads whether you're a Mounties fan or a Tommies fan, have to love the play in this one. Sophie, the hero for the Tommies, will be back in about 20 minutes with the men's game.